Hi, my name is Abe Lagrimas Jr. From Hawaii, living here in Los Angeles. I am a professional musician. I play the drums, the vibraphone, and the ukulele. Well, I come from a musical family. My dad played the saxophone and the drums. And so me and my two older brothers, we were surrounded by music. We picked up a bunch of instruments growing up. We formed a band growing up. But as I got older, I started to take private lessons on the drums. So I started off playing the drums and then went through the music programs in school, all throughout high school, still playing the drums, and then even went to continue my music education at Berklee College of Music in Boston as a drummer. But it was there when I picked up the ukulele. I grew up in Hawaii and I was living in Boston, and I was missing home a lot. And I was missing, Hawaiian food. I was missing my friends in Hawaii, my family in Hawaii. And so when I picked up the ukulele, it felt like I was bringing a part of me, or a part of Hawaii was with me when I was living in Boston in these brutal winters. So the ukulele was kind of like a nice getaway that whenever I played it, it kind of instantly transported me back to Hawaii, which helped me deal with being homesick a lot. And so that's where my ukulele, when I started playing ukulele and I started writing music, and then my career kind of just, took off from there. I started writing music, recording music. Me and my friend formed the band out there playing Hawaiian music. And then we started playing festivals, ukulele festivals. So that was my first introduction to the ukulele festival. I believe it was in New York Uke Fest. Yeah, I started writing my own music, recording my own records, and it's something that I didn't really expect to pursue or take seriously or actually keep going with it. Obviously, I was playing drums my whole life, and I went to school for drumming, but there were so many opportunities as a ukulele player, I decided to just kind of keep going with it. And what is it now? 18 years later now, I'm still here, teaching ukulele now. In addition to performing, I started teaching ukuleles, teaching workshops, private lessons. So whenever I'm at various festivals, I'm also teaching workshops as well. I've written a couple of books as well in jazz, ukulele jazz, and a couple of other transcription books as well. I felt challenged by the instrument. At the time, the ukulele players that I knew at the time when I picked it up were Jake Shimabukuro, Lyle Ritz, and Troy Fernandez of Ka'au Creator Boys. And pretty much Jake and Troy were star ukulele players growing up in Hawaii. And even though between the two of them were doing so much for the instrument, I felt like there could be more said on the ukulele. And so when I picked it up, I approached it, because I was in music school at the time. I approached it as a jazz instrument because I was playing a lot of jazz, as a drummer. So it just came natural to approach it as a jazz instrument, or I was playing jazz on the ukulele. In addition to learning more about Hawaiian music, I was trying to test the instrument to see how many different things I could do play on the instrument. It has 4 strings. I grew up playing guitar also, so when I picked up the ukulele, I feel like I could kind of move my fingers, but I really didn't know what I was doing. And I was intrigued by how limited it was, because I'm used to the guitar, I'm used to the 6 strings. Here, it's 4 strings. So I felt kind of this challenge to master or want to master the instrument. And I think also the sound of it, it's hard to, when you play an ukulele, it's so pleasing to the ear. I wanted to, just get to know more about the instrument. And with my jazz approach, it was already kind of a unique approach that most ukulele players weren't taking. So that kind of led me to want to do more in that genre, playing the ukulele as a jazz instrument. The ukulele community, I think, is unlike any other music community out there. It's so joyful and positive and happy and loving. To me, it reflects Hawaii also, because that's what the Aloha spirit is about. It's about just being cool to each other. That's what it's all about. And what's great about the ukulele is we could do that with through music. The sound of it, again, there's something for me at least. There's something about the sound of it that just captivates people. And if someone hears it and isn't familiar with it, I feel like they immediately want to know more about it. So it kind of brings people in. It brings people together. The community is great. There's people play ukulele all over the world now. There's festivals all over the world. A lot more players. And the great thing about these festivals is that it brings us all together, and we all just want to have a good time and play music together. I love the ukulele community. Great friends of mine, Craig and Sarah, have been really doing amazing things for the community. In addition to their music, they do so much. During the pandemic, they've held festivals, for helping the community, but also the artists and musicians who didn't have any gigs or shows because everything kind of was on hold. All the concerts and festivals were on hold, so they gave an opportunity for artists to play. Some other friends of mine, Jeff Linsky and Jennifer Lightham, are also strong supporters of Ohana Ukuleles. And we have a group called Left Coast Ukulele. Another group I'm in is U3, which features Cynthia Lynn, who plays her signature Ohana ukulele, and Lenny San Jose, also known as Ukulele, is the third member of that group. So, I play with these groups and we play at various festivals, promoting Ohana instruments, and it's really just a great time. We all know each other, and we just all love hanging out with each other. I think there's really two things that bring people together. It's music and food. We all need to eat food, but music is the other thing to me that brings people together. It's healing. It provides healing purposes, and as human beings, we all need that. I really just have it's a short answer, but I think it hits, hard in terms of like why I feel like, why we all need music. Yeah.